Florida, Miami, and specifically Sunkist South Beach, is ground zero for Lamborghini, even when driving pleasure is limited to lazy circles under the W Hotel portico as passers-by drool and gawk. Boosted by the Huracan LP6104 and its new Spyder offshoot, the company is basking in poster session sunshine. The purveyor of La Dolce Vita fantasies sold a record 3,245 supercars last year, nearly tripling its output from 2010. Awash with wealthy types who don't mind a candy-colored profile, America reeled in 1,009 of those, more than China, Japan, and the United Kingdom combined. By 2017, production of the upcoming Russ SUV will nearly double the company's footprint in Santa Gata Bolognese, including the sparkling new assembly line and 500 new employees. The Huracan Spyder looks to sustain that hurtling momentum as a mid-engine beast that can nip 201 miles per hour with its convertible top up or down. For the latter, no amount of Aquanet could stave off follicular destruction, even for a GOP presidential candidate who once owned a Lamborghini Diablo VT Roadster. No, we're not talking about Jeb Bush. Lamborghini posits the Spyder as the lifestyle member of the Huracan trio, with the all-wheel drive coupe as the performance edition and the rear-drive LP5802 as the front-tow drive sibling. But if you think that means the Spyder is strictly for club hopping, there's a 5.2-liter 602-horsepower V10, now with fuel-saving cylinder deactivation. The Raging Bull would like a word with you. A very loud word, Scusi, whose opening airfight song alone offers a good reason to choose the Spyder. That 8,500 revolutions per minute crescendo trumpets the glory of a large-bore, naturally aspirated engine, a glory that's fading as quickly as Ferrari, McLaren, Mercedes, and Porsche can bolt turbochargers onto their offerings. Maurizio Reggiani, Lamborghini's ever-proud R&D chief, declares that while a turbocharged engine is fine for the upcoming SUV, a super sports car needs to be naturally aspirated. Period. Why? Reggiani runs through his stone tablet of engine commandments, a sky-high redline, instant throttle response, tuneful engine and exhaust, and zero handicap from turbo lag. When a turbo engine can do all that, it will be time for a turbo in a super sports Lamborghini, he says. Regulators or rivals might one day change that tune, of course. But we're not complaining as we skedaddle out of Miami in a matte gray Spyder. Even on this rain-washed morning, our crayon convoy of Lamborghinis brightens the skies, and the faces of self-appointed paparazzi, in a way few cars can match. Onlookers and Lamborghini seemed especially smitten with the robin's egg shade called Blue Cepheus, though it will take an ultra-secure man to drive one. Tip a cap to its sister car, the newly formidable Audi R8, but the Huracan just knocks people on their asses. In Miami terms, the Lambo is supermodel Gigi Hadid in a bikini and 5-inch Louboutin heels, prowling for action. The Audi is her smart, bespectacled German assistant, hauling the gear in a chunky bag and making sure everyone's on time. And yes, it's perfectly okay, and potentially wiser, to have a crush on the assistant. With no disclaimers, the Huracan is a beautiful car, an effortless bridge between modernity and the company's classical wedge form, and shorn of the Death Star fill-ups that marred exponentially pricier models like the Reventon. From the start of development, Lamborghini worked to ensure the Spyder would live up to the coupe's standards, in both design and performance. That began with the lightweight, hybrid carbon fiber and aluminum chassis, which Lamborghini says tops the old Gallardo Spyder's rigidity by 40%. For the aluminum body, rear fenders are reworked to blend smoothly with the soft top, itself a choice that diverges from the power hardtops of the Ferrari 488 and McLaren 650S Spyders. Lamborghini says the 3-layer soft top makes the cabin nearly as quiet as the coupe's when it is closed, and that seems reasonable. A sound-absorbing rubber layer allows a normal conversation even when a noon deluge pelts the roof. And when the rain lets up on the way to Key Biscayne, we slow a hair below 31 miles per hour on a freeway on-ramp, which allows the top to stow in 17 seconds flat. At lunch in Miami's hot, more Levy-designed district, we check out the top's movable fins, a pair of motorized black panels just behind the headrests that help mimic the coupe's profile after the roof is lowered. Those fins integrate air ducts to relieve air pressure and reduce top-down cabin noise. Regini emphasizes that the drop-top's effects on handling balance are negligible, including an unchanged 43-57% weight distribution front to rear. Any added roof structure that could be packed at the Lambo's center of gravity, within a roughly 0.75-inch cube, allowed design to proceed without recalibrating anything from the coupe. Beyond that, Lamborghini packed the heaviest parts low and directly against the firewall. The biggest constraint, he says, was the top panel that lies atop roughly the first 3 cylinders of the engine, though that soft canopy is also the lightest piece. All told, the mechanical roof, including its steel, spring-activated emergency roll bar, adds about 220 pounds. Overall, Lamborghini says the convertible presses 3,399 pounds onto scales. That's 264 more than the 3,135-pound coupe. Beneath the top that's available in black, brown, or red, the cabin is largely unchanged. A Michael Bay action layer with the odd-based virtual cockpit TFT driver's display, that military jet-style, red-capped start-stop button, a flying bridge console, and the outward visibility of a medieval dungeon. Paddle shifters as large as scythes mount on the steering column, rather than the steering wheel, as on the R8. It's a fine mission control center, busting at its exotic seams with Napa leather and Alcantara, but there are quibbles. Fox metal finish on toggle switches doesn't jibe with a $267,545 base price. Ditto the plastic, piano black honeycomb along the slender, hex-vented dash. Choose between 5 trims and 17 colors, but some of those body-matching interior bits push the bounds of taste. Bright green leather, especially, recalls a vinyl-wrapped ski nautique of the 1990s. For standard power sport seats, NAQ ensures that seatbacks never contact the firewall. But whether you select those or the optional carbon fiber shells, the chairs are simply too high for even some 6-foot-tall adults. Yes, we get that the roof peaks at a limb below 46 inches. Lamborghini protested that we were simply fooled by the top-down perspective. But even with the top closed, taller drivers get an eyeful of windshield header and headliner, and reflexively scrunch down to get a better driving position. The driving doesn't rise to 488 Spyder heights, but there's nothing wrong with that position. Even compared with the Gallardo, the Huracan is mellow and tractable in its strata mode. Lambo's inertial platform uses a half-dozen sensors to dispatch lightning instruction to performance systems, from the optional magnetic suspension to the dynamic, ratio-adjusting steering that's controversial, but shouldn't be. It's an option, so take it or don't. Standard carbon ceramic brakes, in a choice of caliper colors, include massive 14.96-inch front discs. At puddle-strewn intersections, the Huracan explodes forward with nary a slip or ESP intervention, its mechanical locking differential divvying 413 lb-ft of torque across the rear axle. With its Audi Quattro-based AWD system and 20-inch Giano wheel shod in Pirelli P0s, the Spyder reveals steady understeer near the limit but also ridiculous grip. It leaves mortal cars floundering, Its transformative LDF 7-speed dual-clutch automated transmission ripping through gears as pedestrians' heads snap to see who's going full hoon over Miami. Try that in a Porsche 911 GT3 or Corvette Z06 in a monsoon or blizzard and see how far you get. Crank the car's anima switch to Sport or Casa, and it's a new, come-run ball game, as we learn when the clouds part and a rare, wide-open Florida road beckons. The Spyder leaps forward at the brush of the throttle and, next thing you know, we're topping 130 miles per hour, the car determined to lash the 8,500 revolutions per minute red line again and again. Lamborghini pegs the 062 miles per hour romp at 3.4 seconds, and to 124 miles per hour in 10.2 seconds. A respective 0.2 and 0.3 second behind the coupe. If fresh air and an epic V10 soundtrack are higher priorities than straight-line acceleration, you'll pay about $24,000 extra for the Spyder versus the $243,695 coupe. Sure, some auto writers love to presume that their princess-sensitive glutes can detect the minutest performance handicap in an open-roof supercar, a few P's worth of added weight, a telling decrease in agility. We call BS. A stopwatch in the racetrack may well parse the difference between the Huracan coupe and Spyder. But on public roads? Today's carbon-buttressed convertibles, designed as such from the ground up, feel virtually indistinguishable from coupes at anything shy of 98% driving. And how often, really, does an owner get to flog a supercar that hard? Your ears won't deceive you, however. Nor will the envious eyes that get a better view of you in a convertible Lamborghini, in South Beach or otherwise. 2016 Lamborghini Huracan LP 6104 Spyder specifications on sale. Spring price, $267,545. Base engine, 5.2 liters 40-valve DOC V10/602 horsepower at 8,250 revolutions per minute, 413 lb-ft at 6,500 revolutions per minute transmission, 7-speed dual-clutch automatic layout, 2-door, 2-passenger, mid-engine. AWD convertible EPA mileage, 14/21 mile per gallon, city/highway, estate LXWXH, 175.6 by 75.7 by 46.5 in wheelbase, 103.1 in weight, 3,399 pounds. 060 miles per hour, 3.3 seconds, estate top speed, 201 miles per hour. Show more.